What if the common belief that active walking after the age of 70 is a health panacea not only fails to deliver the expected benefits but can actually be limiting? For decades, the public has been urged to increase physical activity through walking to maintain robust health. However, a significant number of medical professionals today are proposing a different concept: reduce excessive walking and shift focus to aspects that truly protect and ensure well-being for those over 70. This doesn't mean walking itself is harmful. Rather, it suggests that at this stage of life, the human body has different requirements. If one continues to view long walks as the primary form of physical activity, they risk overlooking 5 key elements that genuinely determine how long a person can maintain strength, stability, and mental clarity. Below, we will delve into 5 fundamental practices that become more significant than simple walking once you cross the 70-year mark. These assertions are not mere assumptions. They are based on the latest scientific research in gerontology, mobility studies, brain health, and ensuring long-term independence. Reorienting efforts towards these 5 areas can significantly improve quality of life, minimize injury risk, and even contribute to increased longevity. The first and most crucial aspect is developing leg strength through targeted resistance training. One of the most common misconceptions about aging is the belief that walking alone can fully maintain the strength of the lower limbs. While walking certainly benefits the body, its impact is often insufficient to effectively counteract the natural loss of muscle mass, which accelerates significantly after the age of 70. The truth is, your legs need tangible resistance, something to push against, to remain resilient, functional, and stable. Without this kind of load, even if you dedicate an hour to walking daily, you still risk losing strength in the very muscles responsible for maintaining an upright posture and ensuring overall movement safety. Take George, a 76-year-old man who diligently walked 5 kilometers every morning. He genuinely prided himself on his regular physical activity and was confident it kept him in excellent shape. However, over time, he found it increasingly difficult to rise from low seats. His legs would visibly tremble when climbing stairs, and he eventually fell while trying to reach a book from a lower shelf. His doctor explained something he had never considered: walking doesn't activate and fully develop all the key leg muscle groups critical for stability. George undoubtedly had endurance, but strength was gradually slipping away. The muscles supporting the hips, shins, and knees require targeted and specific activation. This means performing exercises like bodyweight squats, seated leg raises, resistance band exercises, and standing calf raises. There's no need to join a gym or lift heavy weights. Even 2 or 3 light strength training sessions a week can yield immense benefits. The key factors are regularity and a thoughtful selection of movements that engage both the front and back muscle groups of the legs. The undeniable truth is, when your legs remain strong, you retain your vitality. You move confidently. You rise effortlessly. You prevent potential falls before they can even occur. And the stronger your physical foundation, the longer you can maintain your independence. Walking is certainly good for cardiovascular health, but it's strength that keeps you on your feet. So if you've been neglecting strength training, mistakenly believing that walking alone is enough, it's time to give your legs the extra attention they rightfully deserve. They've served you faithfully throughout your life, and they deserve support to remain strong and functional. The second key aspect is regularly performing exercises aimed at developing balance and coordination. Upon reaching the age of 70, one of the most frequently underestimated and overlooked components of overall health is precisely the ability to maintain balance. Many might mistakenly believe that if they continue to walk daily, their balance is automatically in perfect condition, but this is far from always true. Walking by its nature involves moving in a predictable rhythmic pattern. One foot is consistently placed in front of the other, often on a flat surface and typically in familiar surroundings. But true balance in everyday life demands significantly more. It includes the ability to react instantly to unforeseen circumstances, quickly adapt to changing conditions, and maintain an upright body position when something doesn't go according to plan. If a person doesn't train these specific skills directly, they risk gradually losing this vital advantage without even realizing what's happening. Consider the case of Helen, an 80-year-old woman. She took genuine pride in her daily walks around the block. She demonstrated excellent mobility, maintained a good pace, and rarely felt tired. However, one day, when her granddaughter accidentally dropped a ball in the kitchen, and it rolled right to her feet, Helen suddenly lost her balance and fell. This didn't happen because she was weak or clumsy. The reason was that her body wasn't trained to quickly recover from sudden and unpredictable changes in position. Her coordination was gradually fading, though she herself was completely unaware of it. Balance training can be surprisingly simple, yet extremely effective. Actions such as standing on one leg while brushing your teeth, walking heel-to-toe down a hallway, or performing gentle, controlled exercises like Tai Chi or marching in place can bring significant benefits. These practices not only strengthen the small muscles of the ankle joints and hips but also rewire the brain, teaching it to react faster in unexpected situations. In that critical moment when you trip over a rug, miss a step, or turn too sharply, targeted balance training helps you stay upright, preventing a fall. The main thing is to integrate these exercises into your weekly routine. Don't just hope your balance is okay. Actively test and systematically improve it. Falls are a leading cause of serious injuries for people over 70. And they don't always happen solely due to physical weakness. Often, they occur due to a momentary split-second loss of control. This is why walking alone is not enough. You need movements that teach your body to adapt, recover, and maintain stability, no matter what challenges life throws at you. So, ask yourself, when was the last time you stood on one leg or turned quickly without grabbing onto anything for support? These are not childish games. These are vital skills that matter immensely. And the more you train them now, the higher the probability that you can avoid a fall, recovery from which can take months or even years. The third important point is joint protection through low-impact movements. Over time, as we age, our joints bear the brunt of every step taken. Decades of movement, effort, and inevitable wear and tear. And while walking certainly has its advantages, excessive engagement in it, especially on hard surfaces, can gradually erode cartilage in the knees, hips, and ankles. After 70, it's no longer just about moving more. It's about moving smarter and more consciously. And for many older adults, reducing repetitive stress and transitioning to joint-friendly movements is one of the most significant changes they can make in their lives. Consider Martin, 73, who previously walked 8 kilometers daily around his neighborhood. It was his favorite and familiar routine. But over time, his knees began to ache constantly. He started noticing more crunching sounds when moving. Climbing stairs became increasingly difficult, and eventually, he stopped walking such long distances, not by choice, but because it caused him unbearable pain. His doctor told him something surprising. The problem wasn't his activity itself, but the way he was performing it. Long walks on concrete, undertaken with already stiff joints, were exerting slow but constant pressure on aging cartilage. This is why low-impact movements become critically important after 70. Activities such as gentle stretching, swimming, aquarobics, or riding a recumbent exercise bike can maintain your mobility without causing joint wear. Even simple exercises like hip rotations, seated mobility exercises, or floor stretches can bring significant relief and improve flexibility without the wear and tear that accompanies prolonged walking on hard surfaces. The goal is to continue moving, but to do so in a way that respects and preserves the structure of your aging body. This does not mean you should stop walking entirely. It merely implies that walking should not be your only form of physical activity. And especially, it should not be performed without giving your joints the necessary care. This includes mandatory warm-ups before any physical activity, wearing shock-absorbing shoes with proper support, avoiding uphill climbs or uneven surfaces if they cause pain, and carefully listening to signals of discomfort rather than simply pushing through the pain. Many people force themselves to continue walking, mistakenly believing they are doing the right thing, while their joints are quietly asking for a break or, at least, a variety in load. The secret to longevity is not just endurance. It lies in preservation and careful maintenance. And if you want your knees, hips, and ankles to serve you into your 80s and 90s, you must treat them as indispensable parts of your body. Walking less doesn't mean giving up. It means evolving and adapting. And your joints will thank you for it every step of the way. The fourth point, stimulating the brain through targeted mental activity. Most people, when they hear the word health, especially after 70, primarily think of physical exercise. However, many forget that the brain is also a kind of muscle, and it needs the same daily attention and training as the rest of the body. Walking certainly contributes to cardiovascular health, but it doesn't challenge your mind in the way that purposeful and meaningful mental activity does. For older adults striving to maintain mental clarity, alertness, and resilience, ignoring targeted brain stimulation represents one of the most serious mistakes they can make. Take, for example, Barbara, 79. She walked every morning, read newspapers, and did household chores. However, over time, she began to notice alarming changes. She started forgetting names more often, losing the thread of conversations, and struggling to recall her plans for the day. When she mentioned this to her doctor, he asked her a surprising question. When was the last time you learned something completely new? This question deeply resonated with her because, although her body was in motion daily, her brain was essentially on autopilot. The truth is, your brain needs novelty, effort, and challenges to remain healthy and functional. Activities such as learning a new card game, mastering a new culinary recipe, writing a letter by hand, or even learning a few phrases in another language can activate areas of the brain that may have remained unused for many years. And here, the perfect outcome is less important than the process of active engagement itself. Engaging your memory, logical thinking, creative abilities, and concentration all contribute to building cognitive reserves that can help delay or even prevent the onset of mental decline. Furthermore, a growing body of research demonstrates that targeted mental activity, performed regularly, can improve mood, boost energy levels, and reduce the risk of depression, which is often underestimated in older adults. And unlike walking, which can become routine and passive over time, mental activity forces your brain to strain, adapt, and constantly evolve. So if your days are filled with the same patterns, watching the same TV shows, doing the same chores, reading the same headlines, it's time to make a change. Pick up a puzzle, learn a poem, join a discussion group, or challenge yourself with something that's a little outside your comfort zone. Because a healthy brain isn't built on routine. It's built on curiosity, attention, and effort. And the more you give your brain what it craves, the more it will reward you with clarity of thought, confidence, and the ability to fully interact with the world in the years to come. The fifth point, supporting the cardiovascular system through posture and breathing. At first glance, posture and breathing might seem too simple to have a real impact on health. However, after 70, these two seemingly minor habits play a colossal role in maintaining the health of your heart, brain, and overall vital energy. You might walk daily and still experience shortness of breath, feel dizzy, or struggle with a chronic lack of energy. And the reason isn't always in your muscles. Often, it's related to how you breathe and how you hold your body. Most older adults have never been taught deep breathing. And over time, shallow chest breathing combined with a hunched posture becomes automatic, limiting oxygen intake and placing additional strain on the heart. Recall someone like Leonard, 78. He believed his shortness of breath was solely due to aging. He wasn't overweight. He didn't smoke. And his walking routine hadn't changed in years. But during a physical therapy session after a minor surgery, the therapist noticed something different. Leonard's shoulders were always rounded forward, his chest sunken, and he breathed in short, quick breaths. He had been walking with poor posture for years. It turned out his oxygen levels were dropping during these walks, forcing his heart to work harder than necessary. Thanks to simple breathing and posture alignment exercises, his energy returned in just a few weeks. This is why diaphragmatic breathing, or deep belly breathing, holds such powerful potential. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, helping you stay calm, focused, and well oxygenated. It also helps lower blood pressure and improve circulation. Combine this with proper posture, shoulders back, chin level, spine straight, and you create the best conditions for your heart and lungs to work efficiently, especially during daily movements. Here, it's not about looking a certain way. It's about creating enough space within your chest cavity so that your internal organs can perform their work without compression. And here's the most important part, this kind of breathing and posture work can be done anywhere, anytime. Sitting, standing, lying in bed, or even while walking. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency and regularity. Practicing 5 minutes of deep breathing in the morning, periodically checking your posture throughout the day, and doing light stretches for your upper back and chest can dramatically change how you feel by evening. These are not flashy or complex exercises, but they are a fundamental foundation for maintaining energy, calmness, and ease in your cardiovascular system. So the next time you feel short of breath or sluggish, even after physical activity, don't just blame age. Pay attention to how you sit, how you stand, and most importantly, how you breathe. Because sometimes the most significant difference in how long and how well you live isn't about the distance you walk, but about how deeply and consciously you breathe, even when stationary. Final thoughts. Now that you've learned about these 5 important shifts in approach to health, it's time to consider what they mean for you personally. Walking certainly has its place in maintaining physical activity, but after 70, Your health depends on more than just the number of steps you take. It's determined by the strength in your legs, the stability of your balance, the care you give your joints, the attention you direct to your mind, and the air you allow yourself to breathe fully. Each of these areas is inextricably linked to how long you live, and even more importantly, how fully and richly you live the time allotted to you. Many people continue to act out of habit, unaware that their bodies have undergone significant changes. But you are no longer the person you were at 50 or even 60. And this is not something to fear. It is something to respect and embrace. Your body has become wiser, in some ways more fragile, and in others, perhaps more powerful. It now needs a different kind of care. One that listens to its needs, one that adapts to new conditions, one that says, I'm not just trying to stay busy. I'm trying to stay healthy. So if you've been walking every day and wondering why your knees ache, or your energy drops, or your balance feels a little off, it's not your imagination. Your body is asking for more than just mechanical movements. It's asking for targeted, conscious care. And the good news is that you can start this care today, with one balance exercise, one breathing session, one conscious choice to stand tall, and tomorrow your body will remember. It always does.